All right, welcome back to the channel, everybody. Today, we are going to cover some stuff on Anthony Edwards, Antman. I think we are long overdue on this, but the time is now. So this is going to be the first of probably many videos covering Antman. I have a lot to learn, and I'm sure there's some stuff that a lot of people out there don't know about him that we need to learn about, because this guy is rising very fast. Anyways, this video is by Players Unlimited Basketball. That's the name of the channel. And the video is Michael Jordan was totally right about Anthony Edwards. Now everyone is agreeing. And I have an idea what this is going to be about. So if you want to check out the original video without my commentary, I'm going to link the Players Unlimited video in the not in the comments, but the description down below. And outside of that, yeah, let's check this out. All right, here we go.
What do you call a player who averaged 26, 5, and 5 on 46% shooting, jumps out of the gym, trash talks his favorite basketball player,
Savage,
dropped 40 points in the closeout game to sweep him for his first career playoff series?
Why we got to start the video out like this? Why everybody got to remind me what? I'm trying to like Antman right now, and they're reminding me what he just did to my sons. Like, he just completely humiliated us. Shoot.
He's win while dunking on him at the same time, and he seems to play his best with the stakes being the absolute highest. Well, that player would probably convince you he's the face of the NBA. Maybe someone who will enter the GOAT conversation one day, or someone who can be one of the leading candidates for league MVP. According to Michael Jordan himself, this player is, quote, special, and his name is Anthony Edwards. After years...
All right, so he said that in April of this year.
Years of debating which NBA player reminds us the most of Michael Jordan, from Allen Iverson, Kobe Bryant, Dwayne Wade, Tracy McGrady, LeBron James, and even Kawhi Leonard. No one has quite caught our eye like the 22-year-old Minnesota superstar.
I disagree with that. Kobe was almost a mirror image of Jordan. I think people are starting to forget.
And no one has ever drawn such high praise from MJ himself. But the question is Anthony Edwards really the closest we've seen to MJ?
Is MJ your daddy? Isn't that what we're all here for? No, just kidding. No, I don't think he's his dad. Oh man, Jimmy Butler looks more like MJ anyways.
Or are our eyes just playing tricks on us again? Well, the answer to that question might not be what you expect. I got a question for you. If you had to pick a player in today's NBA that reminds you the most of Michael Jordan, who would you pick? For so many years, the man who has unquestionably drawn the most comparisons to MJ is LeBron James. But
can I just point out something funny, by the way? This has to sting for LeBron, but the idea to me is just hilarious that MJ's been retired for 22 seasons at this point from his last encore. And LeBron is on his way out. I don't know if you guys remember when Jordan was on his later years, everyone was talking about who's the next Michael Jordan, who's the next Michael Jordan. We had Grant Hill, we had Penny Hardaway, names like that would pop up. Then Jordan, retires and comes out of retirement while he's winning 3 more rings. Everyone now is talking about Vince Carter. Well, at this time it was Kobe Bryant. They were comparing him to. Then he retires. And then he comes back, and it's like a lot of Vince Carter comparisons and Kobe comparisons. The point is they were doing this almost 30 years ago, saying who the next Michael Jordan's going to be. No one's talking about the next LeBron James. No one cares about the next LeBron James. It's been 22 years, and we're still talking about who the next Michael Jordan will be, because he's still the standard.
Most NBA fans would agree that LeBron is only compared to MJ in terms of where he ranks all time.
Oh yeah, they're nothing alike. Mentally, physically, game style, teammate wise. Nah, man, they're nothing alike.
And which of these two players is the GOAT? But the comparisons really kind of stop there. The footwork, the shot tendencies, the defense, the passing, orchestrating an offense, the style, the skillet. MJ and LeBron are completely different in most, if not all, these.
Except for that damn number you stole. Makes me wish they retired Jordan's number, just league-wise, a long time ago, before LeBron ever came in. Pat Riley had the right idea. I wish the whole league did it. Because it's a stain. It's a stain to the legacy.
Categories. LeBron's a facilitator at nature, while MJ was a relentless scorer. If you ask Michael Jordan to choose someone that reminds him the most of himself out of the hundreds of active NBA players,
it was Kobe before, but, while Kobe was active.
MJ has actually gone on record already saying that Russell Westbrook, out of all people, reminds him the most of himself.
I've seen that. That has nothing to do with play style, but mentality. And I agree 100%. That's why Russ caught my eye so much. Same with Dwayne Wade, pre-injury especially. Dwayne Wade, mentally wise, they were killers. They would do whatever it took to win a game. So, yeah, I definitely agree with Russell. Just skill set wise, Russ didn't, he's not on that level. But mentality wise, in his head, oh yeah, he's out there to kill everybody.
And obviously the respect that I have for Russell.
He tried to draft him.
I am truly a fan.
But unlike what MJ thinks, almost no one that I've come across has told me that Russ is the most similar to MJ, because Russ honestly is miles from where MJ was as an efficient offensive powerhouse that could light you up in his sleep. As the years have gone by, fans and those in the media have changed their take on this highly subjective debate. But if we
unfortunately, Russ never really developed that jump shot. I was watching it in the playoffs again this year, and teams are still playing like 5 feet off of him, daring him to shoot that jumper. So I don't know if it's a mental thing or what it is. It might be a mental block, but whatever it is, Russ isn't taking that shot, and everyone knows he's not taking that shot. So he's basically become pretty ineffective now because of that. And it's unfortunate because the guy has so much skill, so much will to win, but he's kind of getting taken out of the game because of this.
we stick to just the players who are playing right now, not that long ago, it was actually Kawhi Leonard who was most compared to MJ.
Yeah.
Now, that was a really interesting comparison, and I'll admit it was probably one of the better ones I've seen.
I always kind of agreed with it. You know, they have that mid-range post game. They're both super strong, great defenders. It was solid. Only difference is Jordan played all 82 games. Kawhi's almost never. He's never there, man. He's never on the floor. So that's the only detriment, because it's crazy. Kawhi could have been remembered as one of the greatest of all time if he just played. You know, if he played like 3/4 of the games. I can't fathom what he could have accomplished in his career. Or if he changes his mentality and he starts playing more games like moving forward. But I've just given up hope on that. You know, fool me once, fool me twice. Shame on me. So I'm done falling for it.
I mean, back in 2019, Kawhi Leonard pulled off the unthinkable.
Yeah, with the
bringing
Raptors.
The Toronto Raptors their first title in franchise history.
Bink, bink, bink.
After years of falling victim to the absolute stranglehold LeBron James had on Toronto, famously dubbed LeBronto. Kawhi was able to will those same Raptors to the Larry O'Brien Trophy.
Still can't
and while
believe
he was
they did
doing
it.
his play style was very similar to MJ's, from movement to the falling away shots like that one that made Embiid cry to the...
I'm sorry. I just have to point out some absolutely disgusting defense here.
Larry O'Brien Trophy. And while he was doing it, his play...
All right. Look at this. Guy to his side, guy in front of him. Guy could help weak side here as well. What's about to happen?
Style was
How'd that happen? How'd that happen?
very similar to MJ's.
That was a quick first step, though.
To the falling away shots like that one that made Embiid cry, to the mid-range game, even height.
Which time, man? Embiid cried when he didn't win the MVP. He cried when he lost to the Raptors. He cried when he did win MVP, which is when I knew this guy's not a real one. He cares that much about an individual accolade, and then to get knocked out in the first round of the playoffs. I think it was the first round, but I already knew this guy doesn't have it. Very skilled player, but yeah, I've never seen anybody cry over an MVP when they haven't won a championship yet. Like, nah, dude, don't do that.
Weight and hand size. But the only thing that held Kawhi back was him not being able to sustain that play due to injury.
Yeah.
Load management and not being available in the biggest games.
Yep.
And on top of that, while he
just did it again in the playoffs this year. Nothing changes. He played 2 out of the 6 games against the Mavs. And interesting stat I saw was, without Kawhi, the Clippers won 2 and lost 2. So they broke even against the Mavs. With Kawhi, they went 0 for 2. So they lost both games with Kawhi. I think, and that has nothing to do with how good he is. Kawhi's an excellent player. But it just goes to show how rarely he's there. Because I believe now the team is more comfortable without him. Because they're used to playing without him now. So when he does enter the lineup in a playoff game like that, he throws everybody off. Once again, nothing to do with his skill set. Very talented player. But this is just how work environments function. You know, even though if you're great, if people aren't used to working with you, the flow is off.
It appear the most similar to MJ back then, and even in some ways now. The truth is, Kawhi just wasn't ever the explosive leaper that Mike was. And speaking of explosive, that brings us to the man
fair.
that everyone, from kids, teenagers,
God
young and old heads
damn,
alike,
man.
is saying that
I don't even think Jordan had this kind of hops. I don't know. It's hard to say. Jordan really did fly at those first 5 years. But god damn, Ant. He's looking like Vince Carter out there meets Jordan.
Anthony Edwards is a carbon copy of Michael Jordan. Now, it's time we finally get to the bottom of this popular debate.
Ooh, nice
like
hang.
Kawhi, and even a few players before him, Anthony Edwards' play style and movement with the ball is nearly...
Okay, that's something I haven't seen anybody else do other than MJ. I'll rewind it real quick. What I want you to look for is that he's not going to shoot it on the way up or at the height. He's actually going to out-hang his defender and shoot it on the way down. Now, this is not orthodox basketball. This is something that made MJ very special and different. And I've never seen another player do it because nobody... How do you do it? It's disgusting that he would do this.
Edwards' play style and movement with...
That's his height. So he should be about to release, but wait.
Ball is...
Nope. See, he went down, and then he released it. That's unusual. God damn, he has that full extension, too.
Nearly identical to what we saw with Jordan. Finesse, grace, footwork, shot selection. I mean, the kid literally has it all. But unlike Kawhi and so many others, Edwards actually does have that explosive leaping ability too, truly convincing us that he might just be the one. Now, if we step back and compare things like their size and their stature, Anthony Edwards is roughly as tall as MJ, weighs around...
Okay, though, that facial... Their faces, they do look a little similar, huh? Those cheekbones, man.
220, like MJ in his prime, and like we've mentioned, has that rare ability to explode like Mike. While Antman clearly has a ways to go before even sniffing the same realm as Michael Jordan, he does have insanely similar movement. Watch how Edwards, like MJ, gets into spots, how he uses his upper body combined with his athleticism to bounce off defenders so he can get an open look at the basket.
Nice
like
shot.
MJ, Anthony Edwards is elite at creating offense by using his athleticism to get to spots quicker than his defenders can.
Yeah.
And if you know a thing or two about young 80s MJ, you know that his ability to hang and twist around defenders was second to none.
Yep, that was his bread and butter. First, he was quicker than everybody, so off the dribble, like first step, he'd blow by people. I still to this day, I've never seen a faster first step. But then he was so athletic back then, it didn't matter. Even if he didn't know what his shot was going to look like, he would just jump and then out-hang everybody and get a shot off. Young MJ was sick. I prefer older MJ when he was all like loaded with fundamentals and he had just like fixed every single weakness of his. But as far as just like watching a freaking circus, yeah, watch young Mike in the 80s. MJ was, I don't know, man. That's the one time where athleticism just dominates because he had it all, you know. Athleticism wise, he freaking had it all. Nobody can compete. He's too fast, jump too
And
high.
how about the other side of the ball? Watch how Ant-Man gets into his defensive stance
defense
here.
is huge.
Doesn't it look crazy similar to the way Michael Jordan sized up his opponent?
Yeah.
But undoubtedly, it's Ant-Man's use of the mid-range and his acrobatics that remind us the most of Michael Jordan.
Especially when he's playing the Suns.
While many guys in the NBA are working tirelessly to mimic MJ's game, Anthony Edwards has the game come to him naturally. And it's just beautiful to watch, honestly.
Damn.
But then again, talent and mimicking your role models, that can only take you so far.
Yeah.
In Edwards' case, his progression in each of his first 4 seasons is exactly what we saw from a lot of the players who went down as among the best to ever do it.
What's got me is his mentality. As he destroyed my Suns, to see that savage killer in him, because, dude, Kevin Durant, I mean, I know right now he's becoming a little washed up, but he's no joke, man. You know? Antman didn't give a damn. He went right at him, and that's his idol. It reminds me of what Kobe did with Jordan, man. It reminds me so well, or what Jordan did with Bird and Magic on his way up. Like, just, the respect is there, but at the same time, he's saying, it's my time now. Get the fuck out of the way. You know? If you're not going to pass the torch to me, I'm going to fucking take it. You know? And I see that with Antman. His mental is on a whole different level than Kevin Durant, LeBron James, anybody I've seen since Kobe Bryant, to be completely honest. We'll see if he can sustain this and grow.
At just 22 years old and coming off his 4th season in the NBA, Edwards has seen his scoring average rise each season, up to 26 points per game this past regular season. He's improved his outside shot, going from just 29% in his only season at Georgia up to an above-average 37%
Wow.
in year 3 in the NBA.
Very,
in the
very good improvement.
2023-24 season, Edwards posted his highest averages across the board, from a career high in shooting splits to averaging a career high in points. I mean, what we're seeing from this 22-year-old kid is only a sign of things to come. And we can't forget about the other side of the ball either, because he took his defense up another level in 2023.
Damn, dude.
Finishing
Look
in
at
the
that.
top 15 in defensive win shares. In 2024, he finished with the 3rd
man,
highest
he's all
win
over
shares
it.
in the NBA. Using his 6'9" wingspan and elite athleticism, he gives guys some serious problems on defense. But here's where the comparison goes to another level. And it has become the reason why Edwards is so closely linked with MJ. His mindset, swagger, and what is known as the killer instinct.
Yeah, I agree with this
After signing
video.
a max contract extension last summer, Anthony Edwards said his next step would be to, quote, kill everybody. Just recently, Edwards made a...
You see what I'm talking about? Who says that? Who says that? God damn it. And after he beat my Suns, he literally, like, humped. He was, like, fucking dry humping the air just to make a statement. Like, yeah, he did. He was our daddy in that situation.
Viral comments similar to what he said last summer, saying that he wants to kill any and everything that's in front of him. This approach to the game.
Yeah, there it is. Yep. And we deserved it, too. I've never seen something like that before. Actually, like, every year lately, when the Suns get eliminated, it's in the most embarrassing fashion. And, like, this didn't even faze me anymore. I'm like, yeah, Suns are getting toast. And, yeah, this guy's humping. This guy's humping the air. In our home. In Phoenix. Yep, it's happening again.
Coupled with his really pretty mid-range game, the fallaways and step backs, and the dynamic leaping ability, has seemingly convinced us once and for all that Ant-Man is the closest comparison to Michael Jordan that there is in the NBA. But despite all the great qualities Edwards has, and despite how similar he is indeed to Michael Jordan, the similarities kind of stop there. And that's not a knock on Edwards, because he is truly on his way to winning MVPs.
Oh, he's young.
Becoming the face of
He's
basketball and making waves in the NBA, no doubt. But there's just one harsh reality to this entire debate. Through decades on end of players getting compared to Michael Jordan, undoubtedly 100% of them failed to truly reach MJ status. And that's because MJ status is simply not even fair to begin with. After his first 4 years in the NBA, Michael Jordan averaged 32.7 points, 5 assists, 5 rebounds, and won an MVP and a Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah.
He also led the NBA in total scoring in 3 of the 4 seasons and even won 5 playoff games against some of the fiercest competition ever. And he did all that despite missing nearly all of his second season in the NBA due to a broken foot. The bar Michael Jordan set in his first few seasons was so high for future young talent that it's not even really fair to hold the...
Okay, the one thing I will say, though, excuse me, is MJ didn't really have that jump shot down. He had a different kind of jump shot when he was young. He did like a lean forward jump shot. So Antman, I see he's not pulling that from Mike. He's pulling the older jump shot from Mike, which is a very smart idea. So in a way, Antman has an advantage. But yeah, as far as everything else goes with the scoring and the defense, he's right there too. No, that's it. That's all I'm gonna say is just he has an advantage right now with this kind of athleticism and this kind of drive, and he's got a solid team around him. He could start out way more successful than Jordan did. Jordan got drafted by the Bulls, terrible team, terrible organization at that point. You know, garbage coach, garbage players. They were all drug addicts. It was a terrible mess. Jordan just went out there and put on a show every single night. Antman could actually win. He could actually win very soon. So we'll see if he starts out winning titles, man. You know, after just a couple years, it's going to be amazing. Last little tidbit was opening cards with my buddies. A couple weeks ago at this point, and I pulled a year 2 Antman, so that's pretty cool. One of those things is not worth that much now, but might be worth something someday. I never sell cards anyways, but you know how we gauge shit. Anyways, here we go.
These guys to the same expectations. While Anthony Edwards is a stud with an incredibly high ceiling, MJ came out of college averaging close to 30 points per game. That is absolutely unheard of and will probably never, ever happen again. Luckily for Timberwolves fans, though, there is something to be said about a young player that is cut from that cloth. Someone who's got it in his DNA to accept himself as nothing less than an alpha male, and someone who has the loudest confidence and believes in himself. Quality that we haven't seen much in a player since Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant, by the way. But look around the NBA and look at how many guys came into the league shouldering heavy expectations.
Okay. The one thing I will say, though, is that is a difference. Jordan didn't have this. He didn't have Antman's ego. Antman is out here kind of, he's talking trash, basically. Jordan came out quiet, respectful, and eventually got louder and louder as his ego kept growing because of massive success. Antman's already out there talking trash, so I'd say that's the only thing outside of injury that can get in Antman's way is if his ego gets too inflated before he actually starts winning chips.
How many players have we seen in just the last decade that were touted as the next big thing with all-world talent? Just couldn't quite ever live up to their potential. And how often does it have to do with a player lacking the poise mentally?
Look at this guy.
Stop thinking.
Look at him.
Because I'll answer that for you. It almost always has everything to do with it. While Anthony Edwards may not be in the GOAT debate or even make it in the same stratosphere as MJ from a standpoint of overall production, consistency, and resume, he undoubtedly deserves to be compared to MJ in so many ways. From the walk, talk, style, shot making, swagger, you name it. And if you want to call him MJ's son, well, I'm cool with that too. But when you set the bar so high at such a young age as MJ did, you can only dream of one day reaching a similar level. And with Anthony Edwards' game rapidly ascending, he made it literally impossible for fans and even players to ignore what he's doing.
Wait, what? Where was KD?
He made it literally
Oh, okay, so he was just late. Damn, dude. Wow. He's going to destroy you to the basket.
impossible for
Shoot, not even close.
fans and even players to ignore what he's doing. He's only getting better and better.
Oh, yeah.
And he's proving that on a big stage in the playoffs right now. All right, that's it for this one. Let us know what you thought down in the comments. Like, subscribe.
All right. Players Unlimited. You got yourself a subscriber. That was a cool video. I really enjoyed that. I learned a lot about Antman. It was overdue for me too. I love watching this kid play. And what to say outside of I hope he stays healthy. I hope he stays away from injury. And I hope he keeps an eye on that ego. But you got to keep enough ego to be a savage killer out there, but enough ego to keep yourself in check so you keep improving. So far, it seems like he's got it. You know, he's coming back better and better. We'll see what happens. Everybody, I hope you liked the video. Please share any things you have to say about Antman. There's a movie, an Adam Sandler movie, Hustle, I believe is what it was called. And I heard he was in that. I had no idea he was in that. So I'm going to have to go back and rewatch that movie here soon. Do you remember him from that movie? Let me know down below what you think. Leave a like on the video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel if you want more content like this. I release a video every day. And yeah, I'll see you all in the next one. Peace out.